The mountain phase seems to at least be on hold. After the cop incident, I checked the police blotter website info. The path I take to the mountain can almost be plotted by connecting the dots of burglaries in the area. No, 'tis not I. I am luckily not in need of funds. But, again, it seems that I am sowing discord. The Hecate station's power is dark and growing, which brings me to the station itself. As stated, it seems the train station got moved south. The area by me is now being prepared for another bridge. In prep for this, they cleared the oboes out of the area, and there's huge lights nearby. This is keeping the taggers away too. So I am going to spend more time at the Hecate station itself. Between the freeway and the mess of water and thick needles, castor bean and poison oak under sycamores and cottonwood, lies an area little used. It's behind some weak fencing. It's rather narrow and long. So I go over to the unused area to bury some things. I stop at the Loki tree on the way. The nights are short. I have to leave, so I am back by 5 to stay in darkness. So this is my latest trip. This morning, it was last Sunday in June. On the way, past the Loki tree, are 6 huge I-beams. Must be for the forthcoming bridge, so I stopped and marked them as the Hecates. Each of the 6 marked with torch and flail and blade. I then traverse an absurdly high gutter along a 50-foot drop. I sidestep fences and follow a dirt road flush against the freeway. The first tree I'd put roughly across the stream from the boulder labyrinth. This one I wanted to go further north. 3 rises until the end, and I see the third rise as a huge crane on it. I slow and get off the road. In the brush, I start towards rise 2. As I get to rise 2, huge floodlights come on rise 3 with the crane. Fuck. I backtrack a bit. Then a truck slowly goes by from the crane area. I just sit there in the dark, all dressed in brown hues. Slow as they go, they see me not at all. But I worry, the dirt road will get more traffic soon, and the fucking sun will rise eventually. I have to take the road back. Barring life and death escape, I don't want to cross the stream area. The brush is insane thick and full of noxious plants. Besides, Loki hasn't failed me yet. Praise the giant sun, wit so wise, and lord of disguise. And midsummer I just mean. I interned the crystal tomb a yard past of a large rock, and returned on the road. On the way, I hid the blue I'd used to mark the I-beams. It seemed prudent. But looking back on it, not sure of the action. Hell, at the time it seemed foolish. Why hide it, if I was so sure of returning unseen? I stopped and debated go back and retrieving the blue. Finally decided against it. I took one more step south, and a small lynx sounded out of the brush and nearly walked into me. It took a few steps forward and stopped, not 2 yards away, then turned and stared at me. It was barely 2 feet high, lanky, but poised and incredibly confident. Now I so would love to say that I shared words with it, or asked it for a blessing, or thanked it for being, even, but it stared at me a sec and then slowly advanced. I freaked out. I mean, I didn't want to attack it or scream. Had pepper sprayed a stick and a really wicked serrated knife. Yet I must admit, as it thundered back into me, I felt a mild panic. But that would soon be overrode by a total... I don't know what to say. I pulled out a tiny keychain white LED flashlight and gave the thing a long flash. Fuck. It did not come into focus or resolve. If anything, it became darker and more shadowy. It was a huge, cat-shaped hole in the darkness. No glint of eyes. I could see the road in the beam. I could see the brush behind it in the beam. But it was just an absence of anything in Link's contour. And when the light went off, it sounded into the brush on the other side of the road, then stopped again and looked at me over its shoulder. The gesture to me said, "What a moron." I wasn't devastated by this, as I still was so blown away by the fact it wasn't there, in the same way everything else was.